Hallo und herzlich willkommen zur weiteren Episode Danganronpa 2. Ja, das Aufnahme ist ein bisschen her, weil ich das erstmal ein bisschen pausieren lassen. Hatte jetzt aber noch ein bisschen Bock aufzunehmen an einem Sonntagabend. Und ja, ich habe mir natürlich schon ein paar Gedanken gemacht. Also ist klar, wir leben in einer Mega-Simulation. Was hier genau abgeht, weiß ich nicht. Werden wir vermutlich jetzt herausfinden. Vermutlich auch der Connect zu Danganronpa 1. Eine Sache weiß ich, weil ich immer noch nicht auf den Tod von Chiaki gekommen bin. Aber das will ich euch nicht spoilern. Deswegen wird es auf jeden Fall noch interessant. Und wir sollten mal gucken, was hier eigentlich so abgeht. Huh? That's weird. Is the hallway I walked through to get to the gymnastic, but it's clearly different. Is this Monokuma's doing too? Is he trying to confuse us again? I don't know how he's doing it, but it keeps going it over and over again. He's so persistent. But I'm not gonna fall for his trap. There's no way this will make me go back down. Ja, das ist halt mega scuffed hier. This hallway, there's a strange feeling to it, no? As if an invisible wall has been erected to limit our movement. Is it just me? Okay, das heißt, wir sollen nur gewisse Sachen nachschauen, oder? Okay, hier auf jeden Fall nicht. Dojo. Da liegt was auf dem Boden. Is this a dojo? It's full of strange things that make me think there's no way we are inside a school. Perhaps it's a mistake to expect the inside of this building to make sense. What is this? This is a manga. The title is Manga for Morons. A History of Hope's Peak Academy by Monokuma. Why is a manga with such a suspicious looking title laying out in the open like this? Let's start with history first, class. Reading manga is the third best way to learn about history. Then what's the first, you ask? That depends on the person. So just as I thought, Monokuma made this. That totally explains how suspicious it looks. History selber erfahren? Er spielt uns halt die ganze Zeit auf uns an, also Fourth Wall wird auf jeden Fall gebreakt bis zum Abwinken. I really want to just ignore it, but there's no way I can do that. Fine, I will look at it. I will look at anything that might be a clue to getting out of here, no matter what it is. I picked up the manga off the floor and start flipping through the pages. It's an introduction to Hope's Peak Academy history, as narrated by the cutest characters on the cover. The story begins with an introduction to Hope's Peak Academy. Das wollte ich auch noch gesagt haben. Ich finde, die verbleibenden Charaktere, also haben irgendwie was mit den alten Charakteren, die übrig geblieben sind. Hajime ist halt Makoto. Das würde ich als Katsuichi würde ich als Toko bezeichnen, weil er in Sonja verliebt ist. Es war ja andersrum, dass Toko in Dings verliebt ist. Fuyuhiko weiß ich noch nicht so ganz, ob er Byakuya ist. Sonst würde es aber eher vermutlich... Aber Yasuhiro passt nicht zu ihm. Akane ist sehr wahrscheinlich Aoi. Sonja ist dann sehr wahrscheinlich Byakuya. Weil Katsuhichi sie so sehr mag. Ja. Oder Yasuhiro, weil sie so dumm ist. Ja. Hope's Peak Academy is a government-founded school of privilege where only the most talented high school students can hope to attend. Built to raise hope in the nation's future, as many of its alumni are key leaders of various industries. New students are chosen through a scouting process, but the one who scouts them are Hope's Peak Academy's teachers, who serve as both educators and researchers of talent. Hope's Peak Academy isn't just a school for talent, it's also a school for researching talent as well. However, for the past few years, Hope's Peak Academy has been suffering from a decline in funding. If this persists, the Academy believes that they will not be able to make progress with their research of talent, so they decided to implement a new system. the reserve department. Unlike the main department who scouts for students, the reserve departments utilize the general entrance exam. Normally faculty was hired and placed in charge of looking after the reserve department. Then expenses and exams fees for the reserve department are quite high compared to most high school students. Nevertheless, Hopespeak Academy received an endless stream of applicants. Hopespeak Academy was now available to talentless commoners, people who only cared about the brand. With this, Hopespeak Academy managed to amass sizable funds and began further research of talent. To create Hopespeak Academy, Ernest wished a true genius who would become mankind's hope. But just when they thought everything was going well, an unappreciated incident occurred. The incident that triggered the tragedy, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. That's right, it was the tragedy of Hopespeak Academy. Hopespeak Academy was crippled by this incident and was forced to shut down without accomplishing anything. The end. The ending was so sudden, like a manga that suddenly cancelled in the middle of its run. No game, no life. Plus, the phrases mentioned at the end of this manga, the tragedy and the tragedy of Hopespeak Academy. These names are so melodramatic. There's no way this incident really happened, right? This manga only mentions these names, so I don't really know the details, but no, it would be just a waste of time to wonder about things that don't make sense. More importantly, I learned something because of this manga. The reserve department. That department was only built to collect money. I was one of those reserve corps students, right? That's weird. Oh, you're here again. Ah, the thing that's weird is you, of course, huh? Why did you forget that you were part of the reserve department? The Future Foundation only took away your school life memories, right? But you shouldn't have known even before you entered that you had no talent, right? So, I think it's weird that you actually forgot something like that too. What do you want me to say? Based on my assumptions, the Future Foundation must have wanted to hide the fact that you were one of those reserve corps students. Or you're willing sealed those memories yourself, huh? You wanted to be confident in yourself, so you wanted to forget everything that embarrassed you. You know, when humans experience trauma, sometimes they erase their memory of what happened. It happens pretty often. Now that I would know anything about that though. Are you saying it's my fault I forgot? That's not it. Then things get inconvenient, you always get angry and try to brush it off. Well, that's expected of a reserve corps student. Damn it, what the heck? There are a bunch of wooden lockers here. Each of them has a traditional looking woodblock key sticking out of them. I guess they are just for show. There's nothing in particular. Okay. Wollt ihr wissen, ob irgendwas vielleicht noch aus dem Mukuri Kusaba-Mord passiert ist? Der Garten ist geblockt. Im Biolab ist vermutlich nichts, ne? Oder komme ich jetzt ins Biolab? Ne. Hey, Katsuichi, was geht ab? Boy. This hallway, it's kinda creepy. I can't go to places that should be able to go. It's like some rule is being enforced for no reason. It's like there's an invincible war or something. Okay. Ich glaube, hier habe ich alles, oder? Noch nicht alles, okay. Ich meine, ich war doch schon... Okay, ich kann da nicht reingehen. Wenn ich es versuche, dann kommen so Effekte, Pock. Der Technik. Ah, hier kann ich noch rein. War das eben auch? Zu? This is another manga, it's laying on top of the desk. This one is Manga for Morons, The Tragedy of Hopespeak Academy, huh? Was the tragedy of Hopespeak Academy mentioned in that other manga too? It's why Hopespeak Academy went bankrupt, and it was the trigger for the biggest, most tragic, most awful event in human history. If I read this manga, I will be able to learn a little more about that incident. I took the manga from the desk and started flipping through the pages to see what I could learn about the event known as the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. The story made heavy use of outdated stylized drawings depicting characters solving mysteries. What's written in here? As the name suggests, the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy occurred at Hope's Peak Academy. The key player in that event was a student named Izuru Kamukara. Mukuru Ikusaba, the 16th student, lying hinwhere somewhere in the school. The one they call the ultimate despair. Watch out for her. Izuru was a genius known as a symbol of hope. Hope's Peak Academy used all their resources to develop him. Supposedly, Izuru was a genius among geniuses and possessed various talents. Wielding superior talent for the hope of mankind, the Academy referred to Izuru as the ultimate hope. To protect such rare talent, the Academy completely concealed all evidence of Izuru's origins and identity. Because of that, most of the students at the Academy were completely unaware of Izuru's existence. But Izuru, who was known as the symbol of hope, was responsible for a horrible incident. 13 students at Hope's Peak Academy Council, among the Academy's best and brightest, were brutally murdered by Izuru. However, the incident did not end there. The Academy tried to protect Izuru's superior talent and conceal the incident as though it never happened. However, a certain student began working in seeking to use that incident to their advantage. That student uncovered what the Academy did, and by making that knowledge public, it stoked the fires of reserve students who had long been dissatisfied with how they would be treated. And the uprising began, and that heralded Hope's Peak Academy's destruction. This is the entire of the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Eventually, that incident would lead to that horrifying, devastating incident. The incident that would be known as the most works cited Danganronpa 0. With a heavy sigh, I closed the manga. Am I supposed to believe this? There's no way 13 people killed. Ich dachte, da waren... Achso, 13, okay. Also 13. Wie viele sind wir jetzt noch? Waren wir 18 am Anfang oder 16? Das ist ein Grid von 5. 16 waren wir. Okay. What irony for a genius known as the ultimate hope to cause such a gruesome incident. A talent like that is too regal for society. It's like trying to buy juice with a bar of gold. You should be lucky that you're incompetent. Damn it, he always has to lead up to something so offensive. He seriously pisses me off. But ultimate hope. Nagito mentioned that before too, but it looks like it means something completely different here. What Nagito said was the true meaning of hope. But for Izuru, hope simply means talent. More importantly, a genius who possesses various talents. I wish they would give me one of those talents so I didn't have to be in the reserve department. That's right, the reserve department. Here, it said that the reserve corps students in the reserve department began uprising. Then what about me? Was I a participant too? No, that's impossible. There's no way. I have no reason to do something like that. Anyway, I've learned about the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy, but the most awful, most tragic event in human history is a far worse incident, right? What kind of incident was it? And who is this other student that isn't Izuru? A certain student who has secretly used this incident to their advantage. Who is that? This incident is really messed up, but all it's doing is raising more questions. The mysteries just keep piling up. Also klar, jetzt dadurch, dass wir Danganronpa 1 gezockt haben, denken wir natürlich irgendwie, dass alle irgendwie mega pissed dadurch waren, vielleicht. Ist der Raum jetzt vielleicht frei, weil der auch weiß ist? Das heißt, das werden freie Räume sein? Ja, okay. Ja, so ist es gemacht. Oh, Danganronpa-Figur. Also Monokuma. What the hell is with this room? It's freaking cold in here. It's like I'm in a freezer or something. If I just stand still, I might end up freezing to death. I should hurry up and investigate so I can get out of here already. There's another manga just laying around here. This time the title is Manga for Morons. The biggest, most awful... Kann man das nicht irgendwie umbenennen gleich? I knew it. The next one would obviously be about the incident. Der Butt Event, ja? Biggest, awful, tragic event, yeah? Just what was that incident really about? It might turn out to be something lame. I flipped through the pages of the manga and hoped that I was right. A story about creepily drawn characters who get involved in such horrific incidents. An incident known as Bad Event. Is this drawn so grotesquely because the incident itself is that grotesque? Grotesque, okay. Anyway, the beginning of this creepy manga starts with this sentence. The tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy was simply the trigger. At first, the uprising by the reserve corps students that triggered the Bad Event was initially hoped to be resolved quickly, but the situation continued to escalate to dangerous extremes. The movement started spreading all over the internet and fostered a thriving online community. The community was not limited to students, and people of various races and nations began joining in. Holy shit, das ist momentan wie in Amerika. But the movement was not confined to the internet and began spreading and eroding in the real world. When the movement started, it was indistinguishable from any other demonstration inspired by social unrest. But as it spread across the world, certain abnormalities soon came to light. By then it was too late. The ends and the means had vanished, and wanton destruction became their only goal. The strong butchered the weak killed the weakest among them, and soon the weak formed factions to brutally murder the strong. As the violence and death continued to spread, the shock of their actions began to disappear, as if the era was regressing to more uncivilized times, when senseless deaths were the norm. The media was oversaturated with deaths to the point where people would watch them while enjoying a meal. By the time the world realized what it had become, it was too late to stop what had happened. A feeling of immense despair began spreading, eventually engulfed the world. Acts of terrorism and coups began occurring around the world. A war waged in the name of despair. A war fought not for principles, religion or personal gain, just war, pure war. And because of that, there was no way to resolve it. How could a movement started by high school students progress to such a hopeless scenario? The only explanation, the existence of a certain organization devoted to a certain student who influenced Hope's Peak Academy, a group called Ultimate Despair. Instead of using Hope's Peak Academy's talents for the sake of mankind hope, they used them for the sake of mankind despair. Key members of society used the influence to brainwash the masses in order to spread despair. Tech-savvy computer programs wrote software to spread despair. The powerful and influential created new values and morals to spread despair. With this, they created the tragedy, the Bad Event. As long as ultimate despair exists, the despair engulfing the world will never end. The tragedy will never end. My heart was racing in my chest, but my body felt ice cold. And it wasn't because I was freezing in this room. The Bad Event, this is definitely all made up. I mean, if this is really true, then what's happening in the outside world? My family, my friends, the convenience store I frequent, the nerdy bookstore, my favorite restaurant, what happened to them?
No way!
Hey, are you seriously yelling at a manga? How crazy are you? Who would enjoy reading something like this? Oh my, you don't like manga? A high school student who doesn't like manga is like an office lady who doesn't like to eat candy. Enough. What is this messed up manga? I thought you would be obviously known about such a horrible event that destroyed the world, but for you not to remember that, such despair. That's the Future Foundation's fault though, thanks to them stealing your school's memories. The incident that happened during that period has been completely removed from your brains. This incident really happened and I actually forgot about it? There's no way that's possible. How many times do I have to tell you? All the clues are here real. Please understand, I'm rooting for you. If you don't learn about the full extent of the outside world, you guys will suffer for it. I just want to help you guys so you can live a well-adjusted lives in the outside world. I see, so that's how it is. That's what he meant by what he said at the beginning. Well, as the headmaster, I'm conflicted, you know. On one hand, I'm really happy that you are finally going to graduate, but on the other hand, I'm worried about whatever you guys will be okay in the outside world. That's why I'm thinking about telling you what the outside world is like before you make a decision. Whatever you wanna leave Jabberwock Island or stay here. He's trying to make us feel despair toward the outside world, so we will want to stay on the island, but there's no way I'm going to want do what he wants. Despair like that simply can't exist. The outside world should be filled with hope. Just like now, perhaps. No, that's definitely it. Whatever or not this incident really happened, what in the world is the ultimate despair group? If they are devoted to a certain student who guided Hope's Peak Academy to its destruction, are they connected to both the tragedy and the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy? Plus, that organization isn't just one person but a group of people. But if they are known as Ultimate Despair, they are high school students, right? Well, if they were actually able to do it, then I guess that's why they call the Ultimates. Then are the killings we are involved in connected to them as well? It's no use, I'm going to freeze to death. I'm at my limit, I need to get out of here. Shivering, I read out of the freezing room. Was ist, wenn wir die Gruppe sind? Puh, that was close, I nearly froze to death. So, where should I go next? Natürlich zum anderen Raum, der auf der Map als weiß markiert ist. Pock. Wow, hier. Aber war die andere Tür? Achso, das war das Dojo, naja. No, I should ignore it. I'm just going to pretend I didn't see him. Okay, fragen wir mal Fuyuhiko. When I went inside this room, that bastard beer was suddenly here. He keeps glancing at me. I wonder why. It's gonna be shitty either way. So, I will let you handle it. There's no way I'm gonna deal with that idiot. I don't want to do that either, okay. Yeah. Why, hello there, Hajime. General Kenobi. I hope you're doing pleasingly well. Are you pleasingly well? You are pleasingly well, right? What are you doing here? Well, there was another thing I needed to tell you on this floor. I got bored of drawing manga. Can you forgive me for telling you by word of mouth? You should have done that from the beginning. I didn't want to read your manga in the first place. A high school student who doesn't like manga is like a sumo wrestler who doesn't like eating hot pots. I'm getting really fed up with your babbling. Hurry up. What did you need to tell me? It's about that key piece of information you have been waiting for so long. Surprise, it's about Ultimate Despair, huh? Even though the term Ultimate Despair refers to a group these days, it was originally the title for a high school girl who was the most powerful, evil and feared person alive. Lady Junko Enoshima. As the former Ultimate Despair, she created a despair brimming with charm and humor, and created the Ultimate Despairs. There was one really horrible person in that group. Hold on a second, I don't know what the Ultimate Despairs are, but it's not that easy to form an organization. There's no way people would join some fucked up organization created by a high school girl. Humans are so obsessed with their philosophy, have an uncanny power to attract others. It's a trait shared by many famous leaders throughout history, right? There's nothing strange about it. That holds true for Lady Junko. With her charismatic ability to attract people, she even influenced those in the highest echelons of power. Her connections were the main reason that incident became the tragedy in the first place, so she recruited people who would have been in a position to neutralize the threat. Then what was their purpose? What? Like I said, why did they cause that incident? It doesn't even make sense. They had a purpose, right? There's no way they would do what they did without any purpose. It was Junko Enoshima's despair, huh? For Junko Enoshima, despair isn't about purpose. It a set of principles, a way of life, or an instinct. Despair is what defines Junko Enoshima as Junko Enoshima. What are you saying? I am a stuffed plushie. Hajime is human. It's exactly like that. Junko Enoshima is full of so much despair that she's truly hopeless. Living, dying, eating, loving, for her everything is despair. What the hell? With her overwhelming force of personality, Junko recruited the ultimate despairs one by one. She controlled their despair by taking advantage of their love, hate, grudges, anything really. Junko's despair is far more dreadful than any other. That idea had been slammed right into their minds. And so the ultimate despairs who had been recruited became nothing more than Junko's limbs. All despair, whatever it was, their own or anyone else's, was dedicated to Junko Enoshima, like believers making offering to their god. Like a mother providing food to their children. They dedicated all despair so they could escape from despair, all in Junko Enoshima's name. For example, they killed their families and friends and even destroyed their bodies through relentless mutilation. And to hopelessly top it off, they completely believed it was something that they had to do. There's no way something that crazy is possible. Do you know about the final days of the reserve corps student during the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy? Final days? Junko has the power to change people's values. This is also true of famous people throughout history. What do you mean final days? What happened to the reserve department? They fulfilled their roles as disposable limbs. They believed in what they needed to do. And so the 2,375 students of the reserve department all committed mass suicide. Mass suicide. All. Oops, it wasn't all of them. One person was excluded. One person was excluded? Is that me? I don't believe it. There's no way I can believe this. Ultimate despair. It doesn't scare me at all. I mean, Junko Enoshima is already dead. Huh? Well... Hey, Fuyuhiko, is it true what you said? Junko Enoshima is already dead? You didn't see it? There was a book called Manga for Morons, Killing School Life. A bloody classroom, no wait. What was that you said about the Killing School Life? Like the killings where we are involved in, there were killings that tapped that Hope's Peak Academy. As I recall, the mastermind took their own life because the remaining students worked together to defeat her. That's what it was. The Killing School Life ended up failing in the end. As a result, the 6 students who survived managed to escape from Academy. For a manga about the Killing School Life, it was drawn with a lot of silly images and dumb gags. According to that, the mastermind behind the failed Killing School Life was Junko Enoshima. The mastermind took her own life, which means Junko Enoshima is dead. It turns out that Killing School Life was part of that whole biggest, most awful whatever incident. Junko took away the memories of former students of Hope's Peak Academy and forced them to kill each other. Meinte Monokuma aber nicht, dass das alles gelogen? Former students of Hope's Peak Academy and she took away their memories. That's just like us. Apparently the whole thing was being filmed by surveillance cameras and broadcast worldwide. There's a limit to being a cruel asshole. The surveillance cameras were broadcasted the whole thing. The students of Hope's Peak Academy are widely known as symbols of hope. By forcing people to watch the symbols of hope kill each other for the sake of survival, they were trying to fill everyone who watched the broadcast with despair all at once. That's messed up, but that messed up plan was stopped. Junko Enoshima failed. Junko lost to the students she placed in her trap, and after being overcome by the despair she created, she took her own life. Then Junko is no more. No matter how horrible she was, there is no reason to fear someone who is dead. Whatever Monokuma's story is true or not doesn't matter. Junko Enoshima isn't alive anymore, then who is our enemy? If Junko Enoshima is already dead, are the rest of Ultimate Despairs behind this? Are they followers of Junko carrying out her will? That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, the killings were involved and resemble that Killing School Life. Well, I don't know who the hell is imitating Junko and making us go through this, but an imitation is just that, an imitation. If the students from Hope's Peak Academy stop the real deal, there's no way we will lose to some fake. But if this is really an imitation, are those surveillance cameras the same too? The cameras are over Jabberwock Island. Are they broadcasting to somewhere, just like the civilians' camera during the skidding live? Man, Hajime, you totally know about that story, huh? What? Do you have a problem with that? Well, I really wanted to read the manga version since I took the time to draw it. Oh well, I will just raise the flag. Flag? What do you mean, raise the flag? What's going to happen if you do that? One step at a time, you're getting closer to clearing my character route. You're not making sense again. Now then, I will give you guys my all. I will tell you everything I know, including information on the outside and inside. I will raise them flags like crazy. Okay. Darf ich jetzt runter? Huh? It changed a different hallway again. It's so sudden. What's going on to make something like this? No, I've already decided that I'm not going to be surprised. That's right. There's no time for me to be surprised or something like this. Okay, nächster Raum. Hier gibt es 2 Räume, wo wir reinschauen können. Das heißt zum Musikraum. An den kann ich mich gar nicht mehr so richtig erinnern. This looks like the music room. I feel like I can see something strange. Looks like it's some sort of monument. Why would there be a monument in a music room? And not just that, the remark engraved onto the monument is the symbol of the Future Foundation, right? Below that symbol there's a short message engraved. To combat the bad event, the graduates of Hope's Peak Academy were among the many who established the Future Foundation. Huh? The Future Foundation was established by the graduates of Hope's Peak Academy. Aren't they known as the World Ender? This is completely different. Monokuma here completely made it up. Ja, ich möchte eigentlich das Hologramm anschauen. What is this? Words are floating in the air. This is like a hologram, right? The floating letters are formed a sentence. It looks like a passage from an email. Regarding the report we gave you the other day, we have obtained information. A person who claims to be a survivor of Hope's Peak Academy. Upon further investigation, there are a total of 15 survivors. You may be wondering about the number of people this time. If they are survivors of Hope's Peak Academy, it's possible that they may be targeted by the ultimate despair. We believe we should acquire them and place them in our care as soon as possible, though I don't believe the group can go that far without Junko Inoshima rallying them. In a worst case scenario, we must prevent a repeat of the killing school life. Also, if they are survivors of Hope's Peak Academy, we should expect them to be quite valuable to us. However, we are still investigating the details of their origins, and we haven't located them either. We will continue investigating this matter. Also, regarding a separate matter, we have received a report from the research facility on Jabberwock Island. Preparations have been completed. It seems we can proceed with the experimental phase of the Neo World program. Survivors of Hope's Peak Academy, 15 students. Is that about us? Excluding Chiaki, who was part of the Future Foundation, there were definitely 15 of us, but what do survivors mean? It's like they are talking from some other world. What happened outside Jabberwock Island? If the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history is really true, then the world isn't normal anymore, maybe. I'm starting to feel like we might be better off not remembering the memories we've lost. Okay, I guess that's all the clues in this room. It's finally confirmed, the Future Foundation is on our side, at least. They were founded by the graduates of Hope's Peak Academy and they took us to protect us. But if that's true, Chiaki should have made that clear to us. No, as long as Monokuma was around, she probably couldn't say anything carelessly. Monokuma, if he's the true Foundation's enemy, then his true identity must be the ultimate despairs. who caused the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The ones who are carrying out the will of Bunko Ushawa are making us go through this. Also, this caught my attention in the email too. What is this research facility on Jabberwock Island mentioned in the email? What's that about? The only future Foundation facility we found was that ancient ruin. There's no way that's the research facility. If there really is a research facility on this island, there should be other future Foundation members here. Somehow, there are still so many mysteries. Wir haben noch gesagt, dass das hier ein Programm ist, was hier gerade läuft. Also es ist eigentlich gar nicht so real, was hier gerade abläuft. Holy shit, wäre das ein gutes Rätsel mit einer Monokuma-Figur, wenn die einfach so im Spiegel erscheint, aber nicht im Realen. Und dann muss ich im Realen dahin klicken, wo die Monokuma-Figur ist. Haha. Ja, aber warum machen die so ein Programm? Das verstehe ich nicht. It's probably the office, right? I mean, the room kind has that stuffy teacher vibe to it. The office, huh? Now that you mention it, it does look like that. More importantly, have you seen Miss Sonia? I don't see her anywhere. How much longer is this gonna be obsessed with Sonia? Give it up already. There's something written on the blackboard. What's written here? List of subjects is written on the blackboard in large letters. Are names I've seen before. There's a newspaper posted on the blackboard. Below that, Hiyoko Sanjo is written there. What is this newspaper? Die ist ein bisschen älter. What is this? It says Miss Hiyoko Sayonji. This can't be the same Hiyoko, right? I mean the Hiyoko we knew was much smaller and looked more childlike. It was pretty much a defining feature. But the photo in this newspaper, in a way I can see the resemblance to Hiyoko, but her height and figure, it's too different from the Hiyoko we knew. What does this mean? This lady looks pretty mature. Is she Hyoko's older sister or something? No, it says Hiyoko Sayonji here. Then Hiyoko has an older sister with the same first and last name. An older sister with... Nein. Was ist, wenn die eigentlich schon alle älter sind, die aber eine Simulation in unserem Kindesalter oder im Highschool-Alter gemacht haben, um herauszufinden, wer eigentlich wirklich Despair ist oder also wer Ultimate Despair ist? Dass vielleicht einer in unserer Gruppe Ultimate Despair ist, aber es sich noch nicht entwickelt hat. Einer von uns ist Ultimate Despair, vermutlich. But did he ever hear mention an older sister? Well, it's not like I was that close to her or anything. Oder... Guck mal, Mikan hat sich erinnert... Oh, die versuchen uns irgendwie mit Hope zu raisen. Guck mal, Mikan hat sich erinnert, dass sie endlich den singen kann, den sie liebt. Vielleicht war das Junko. Sie war mit Despair corrupted, weil sie sich erinnert hat. Vielleicht sowas. She doesn't have an older sister. Yoko is the Senyan's family's only daughter. If she doesn't have a sister, then a relative... No, there's still too much of a resemblance. That's Yoko. Huh? What are you saying? Yoko doesn't have a curvy body like this. I mean, she was famous for her childlike figure. She got away with all kinds of crap for looking like that. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe she had a growth spurt? What are you saying? Oh my, Shinryu. There's no way she could have had a growth spurt. Well, regardless, all the clues I've provided are true. If they weren't, it wouldn't be fair.
What's going on?
What the heck, is this the truth? If this is the truth, then the Yoko in the newspaper... Oh, das erinnert mich an so einen Film. Da ging es darum, irgendwas mit... In the Shadow of the Moon hieß das, glaube ich, der Film. Schaut ihn euch an. Das ist so ein Film, den gibt es auf Netflix. Da ist so ein Bus, da stirbt einer im Bus und dann haben die so 3 Teile oft in dem Nacken. Also so 3 Einschussteile. Schaut euch den Film an, der ist mega gut und geht um so Zeitreisen und wenn du halt in die Vergangenheit reisen möchtest, um was zu verhindern. That's impossible. I mean, how can there be a photo of a grown-up Yoko when she's already dead? Why does this even exist?
Hey, hey.
Could it be related to that list of subjects over there?
This is bad.
If it says subjects, maybe it means there was some kind of experiment, right? Did the experiment change Yoko's body? Oh, what am I saying? Just saying it out loud makes it sound messed up. What experiment? If it's some kind of experiment, would that mean there's also test subject, right? I mean, our names are also written on the blackboard under that list of subjects. But what kind of experiment was it? What's going on? It better not have anything to do with time travel. Ja. Wird eine Simulation abgespielt? Wer ist das? Ist das der Headmaster? An extremely overwhelming portrait is hanging on the wall. I feel like I've seen it before, but the name etched into that placard said Hope Speak Academy founder Isuru Kamukara. The founder of Spook Academy and this name, Isuru Kamukara. Doesn't this clearly contradict the information I obtained earlier? Damn it, another mystery. Der hat die Academy gegründet? Ist das Bild irgendwie übermalt? Ich guck gerade mal drüber. Okay. Achso, das Hologramm wäre noch nice. There are letters floating in the air like the music venue of earlier. Looks like a passage from an email someone wrote. I think it's the same from earlier. I guess I should read it. We understand this matter regarding the survivors. In order to safely acquire them, please do your best and continue your investigation. However, you must exercise extreme caution concerning the remains of despair. Even though they have lost Junko Enoshima, the fact remains that they are incredibly dangerous. Even after her death, the tragedy has not ended. Perhaps there is still a leader on par with Junko Enoshima. As long as we do nothing about the remains of despair, we will not be able to end this incident. For this reason, the remains of despair must be immediately eliminated once they are discovered. Everything for the sake of a shining future. Immediately eliminated. Does that mean this in order to kill them? Does that sound peaceful? That doesn't seem peaceful at all. Well, I guess that's understandable. If the bad event is as terrible as it sounds, it's pretty much all-out war. If the remains of despair are the ones waging that war, there's no way they would be forgiven that easily. Okay, with this you have totally erased all the flags on this floor. Congratulations, Hajime, you shall now go on to the next stage. Achso, ja. Also, die wollen irgendwie... Damn it, not again. The hallway is different from the last time. I guess when that flag Monokuma mentioned is erased, I'm moved to a different hallway than the last. But how can he do that? No, now's not the time to be confused by that. Thinking about it is just going to waste my energy. Irgendwie checken. Vielleicht war so, also, dass das hier alles eine Simulation ist, ist klar. Und irgendwas passiert outside der Simulation. Und Monokuma, der halt irgendwie die Simulation beeinflusst, versucht irgendwie Despair zu spreaden. Das heißt, outside dieser Welt gibt es eine Person, It's a billiard table, a dartboard and a shelf lined with magazines. It's hard to think a room like this actually exists inside a school. Oh, guck mal, da ist was. It's a file with Hope Speak Academy seal on it. It says confidential, that means this is a big secret, right? Why would an important document be here? Why am I even asking a question like that? Obviously Monokuma is responsible. Anyway, I need to confirm what's inside the file. About the Hope Cultivation Plan. For many years, Hope Speak Academy has conducted rigorous research into various talents. The Hope Cultivation Plan seeks to use the fruits of our labor to further our true goal. With our hands, we will birth a true hope that will bring hope to the entire world. Truly, the program is the next innovation in providing the ultimate education. This plan has been the Academy's wish since its foundation, so we must success it at all costs. What followed was a series of detailed instructions and intricate orders. It was full of difficult technical terms and I had no idea what any of them meant. However, the word true hope left a strong impression on my mind for some reason. The Hope Cultivation Plan was created for the sake of birthing hope. True hope. Hope Speak Academy must be behind something like that. I don't really get it, but there's something about these words, true hope. The hologram again. What's inside this one? It looks like another email passage. Regarding the report we gave you the other day, we have finally succeeded in acquiring them and have placed them in our care. Though they were all displeased, we were successfully in acquiring all 15 of them. Due to the fact that we are unable to ask them about specific detail, it is unknown how they managed to survive the tragedy. It's been reported that some are wounded, so it seems certain that they survived under harsh conditions. Over the course of our detailed investigation, we determined that they are the same age as the others, so we have decided to entrust them to the survivors of the killing school life. As for the remains of despair, there are still no solid leads regarding this matter, and we have no new information to report. We will continue with this investigation. Once they are discovered, we shall eliminate them immediately. Everything is for the sake of a future filled with hope. Das heißt, die wurden irgendwie echt eliminiert. It says here that they succeeded in acquiring them and have placed them in our care. That means we should have been protected by the Future Foundation, right? Then why is this happening? If the Future Foundation was protecting us, why were we forced to kill each other on this island? Well, I guess it's not possible that the Future Foundation set this all up. Nein, das passt ja noch in meine Story. My Hajime, if you keep worrying like that, you're gonna get a tooth hack and collapse. It's your fault. What is this hologram thing anyway? It's exactly what it looks like. They are the Future Foundation's emails. I thought they made the perfect clue, so I did a little bit of hacking here and there and got them. You can even do that? Who is ever controlling you? You seem to possess many talents. Well, who cares about me anyway? That's not important at all. There's no way that's not important. His true identity should connect everything, so what's happening right now? Ich sollte nach Monokumas Ausschau halten, ne? Guck mal, da ist sogar der Spind und der fliegt. Und die Schachfiguren fehlen. Nice. Oh yeah, Mr. Krabs. Looks like I'm in a different hallway again. I'm pretty much used to it by now, but even so, what is this space? Am I dreaming or something? I mean, this is totally disconnected from reality. Ja, ist es auch. Auch auf dem Kopf spielen kann ich. Schade, dass Library jetzt nicht auch auf dem Kopf steht. Den Ort kennen wir. Die Folge kam letztens raus. This must be a library. Monokuma probably left something here too. I should hurry up and find it. Ja, hier die E-Mail, ne? This hologram again. It must be another one of the Future Foundation's emails. I should read it. There's no doubt that it's an unearthed clue. To the Future Foundation 5th Division. Makoto Naegi. Where are you guys? What are you doing right now? What are you doing is a serious act of treason. Do you understand? Why are you protecting the remains of despair? It should be abundantly clear to you how dangerous it is to keep these people alive. Stay calm and think about this carefully. You guys are being lied to. Think carefully about what's important to bring the light of hope to the world. There's 6 of you. Joined the Future Foundation because you agreed with our ideals, right? The Future Foundation rescued you from the tragedy you survived and cooperated with recovering your memories. Immediately return the remains of despair to our headquarters. Unless we eliminate them, the tragedy will never end. Everything is for the sake of a future filled with hope. What does this mean? This email suggests that someone was trying to let the remains of despair escape. This email is addressed to Makoto Naegi. Tell him, Naegi. But he's with the Future Foundation, right? Then why was he trying to protect the remains of despair? Did he betray the Future Foundation? Er wollte Ultimate Hope zeigen. Oh, ich liebe so Bit-Musik. Second Floor of the Domes, wird das Ende sein? Gut, ich weiß noch nicht, was mit Isuru ist. Hey, didn't I walk into a classroom? I don't really get it, but this looks like the laundry room on the first floor. There's no use worrying about it, but I was in a school and now I'm suddenly in a laundry room. Hallo? Okay, sonst ist ja nichts, ne? Ne. This looks like a tablet computer. It looks like the power is on too. Is this next clue? I picked up the tablet and immediately started examining it. Top secret. New world program. This word, new world. It seems to recall hearing it and seeing it a few times already. The Neo World program has another name. Psychotherapeutic Communication Simulator. The Neo World program is built with the most recent psychotherapy technology and administrative software to develop the Neo World program. Individuals such as the Ultimate Programmer, the Ultimate Neurologist and the Ultimate Therapist were among the many talented people who research results we utilize, but mounting a device to the cranium, the Neo World program, allows its subject to experience a synthetic virtual world. Additionally, the Neo World program has another feature. It can replace memories formed in the real world with information contained in the synthetic virtual world. Therefore, it is possible to undo trauma sustained in the real world through the use of virtual world. However, this device for irgendwas purposes only. Any other use is expressly forbidden. Though it is highly efficient in treating brainwashing, abusing the device risks totally personality destruction. Thus, extreme care must be exercised when operating this program. Slowly everything around me turned black. Synthetic virtual world program, a feeling of emptiness, like everything is being tainted. A feeling of weakness, like the world is collapsing beneath my feet. Everything is starting to feel meaningless. The desperate attempts to say goodbyes, the conflicts. The sad goodbyes, the conflicts, the trust I felt until now. It's all disappearing until I feel is despair. Ah, I screamed loudly as if I was filming the sound of my own voice. There's no way I can accept this. I'm starting to accept that. There's no way something as crazy as this actually exists. Nice. You gotta raise the flags more in order to clear my character route. Now then, despair is waiting for you. Impossible. This is impossible. It's all made up. Everything is all made up. Made up? Including me too? Okay. Vielleicht hat Makoto versucht, die Despair-Leute, MVP, ja, irgendwie wieder gut zu machen, indem sie... Okay, ich dachte, ich kann das Ding hier auch anklicken. Das irgendwie True Hope irgendwie erleben. Hey, how are you doing? Did you enjoy the killing school trip? By the way, do you guys remember the speech I made at the beginning? From this point on, I promise you a world that truly deserves to be called a game. Poohoo! I gave you the only is watching this one who can save them. You guys are the only ones watching this who can save them. The end of the world is near. What you gonna do? What's gonna happen? Isn't it exciting? Isn't it heart-throbbing? Look forward to it. Oh boy. This hallway. When we first arrived here, I walked down this hallway from the classroom to get to the gym. I don't really see a resemblance, but... Oh nein, der Monokuma Classroom. Das Ding ist offen. Hi Sonja, ganz nett, aber... Okay, du wirst gleich freigeschaltet. Erstmal gehen wir in den letzten Raum. Ey, was geht ab? The moment you discover that the truth was a lie, all hope will disappear. Generating monocores, file reading in 4 seconds. Is this floating? That's impossible. There's no way something this big would be floating like this. But what is this? And the moment I looked at the object... Bitcode, POC. Chihiro Fuizaki. Welcome to the New World program. A floating person is talking to me. Who is it? No. Is it even a person in the first place? I'm not quite a person, I'm simply an artificial intelligent program. It would be happy if you call me alter ego. That is the name my master gave me when he created me. It can talk, but what are you? Alter ego, artificial intelligent program. I'm the master program behind the New World program. I'm responsible for creating and overseeing this world. However, only the observer has the authority to directly influence you guys. I can't actually exert much influence. In fact, my existence is one that you don't normally meet. I'm sort of like an apartment manager or something. I may oversee the entire apartment building, but I lack the power to manage individual rooms. But the virus has infected everything I'm supposed to be managing, and because of that, this world I'm managing is acting very peculiar. Hold on. My brain can't follow what you're saying. Let me gather my thoughts first. Damn it. It's that feeling from earlier again. This floating, like my feet are hovering above the ground. It's like I can't feel my feet or the ground. Like I can't even believe my own existence. Hey, you should know, right? Where's this place? Tell me. What is the New World program? The New World program has omitted the data collection procedure for shaping the entire world. As such, only the data we collected during the experimental stage is being utilized. Especially, that means the data detail Jabberwock Island, where this research facility is located. That is why the previous Jabberwock Island's cityscape was restored. Ergo, if I'm to answer your question, where is this place? The answer would be mostly Jabberwock Island. Certain portions of it are different depending on the circumstances. For example, this school you are in, it appears the space is entirely under this virus influence. That's probably why I'm appearing before you too. However, even without the virus, these circumstances are a bit unnatural. It seems the launch was rushed, and because of that there wasn't enough time to collect any data. I'm sorry, I don't really know the circumstances of the outside world. After all, I'm simply the overseer of the New World program. Most of its words, I understand what they meant, but I couldn't understand what was being said. There was no way for me to acknowledge it as the truth. It would make much more sense if this was a fictional world. Are you saying this world is a fictional world? I feel like I can't believe what's going on here. This missing sense of reality, all the mysteries, all the truths, they're all just fiction? Is that... Even so, I need to know. I need to know what this world is. Hey, can you tell me? Can you tell me? What was the New World program used for in the first place? Serves only one purpose. It is used to make the real world a splendid one. I guess you can say it's a program for creating hope. A program for creating hope. But the fact that we are here and the fact that we don't have our memories is all the program's fault, right? Deleting memory is the first step toward replacing memory. Replacing memory data is one of the features of the New World program. With the installed memory control unit, it is possible to remove any time period you set to it. And from there, you upload the memories obtained in the virtual world. Removing memories of any time period you set it to. So Monokuma was right. We did lose our school memories, but why? Why us? Why were our school's memories taken away? There's a reason for that, right? That is a mystery to me too. Pushing a program on the survivors of Hope's Peak Academy while it's still in its experimental stage. I'm sure there was a very good reason. But unfortunately I don't know what's happening on the outside world, I'm sorry. Are you saying we are lab rats? That's the only thing I can think of. It sounds like we are just lab rats. The Future Foundation did that to us. But they are trying to save the world, right? Or is the Future Foundation not our ally? I'm sorry, I can't provide that much help. If only I was more reliable, I wouldn't have lost my authority to a virus like this. All these new words make my heart feel like it's about to burst. Can you tell me more about the Observer and that virus? Well, for this reason the New World program was programmed to house 15 people with along 2 monitors. For this session, okay, was programmed to house 15 people along 2 monitors. Monomi und Chiaki. Yeah, they were distinguished as a teacher and one of the students. They were intended to guide the participants in this way. But the way the observer and the teacher role has given the authority to influence you all. But the observer and the student role was not. They weren't given any special authority at all, so they would seem the same as everyone else. What kind of authority does the teacher role have? As an example, the teacher creates the rules of this world and manages them. If the teacher is properly managing the rules they have created, there is no risk of abuse. But because of the virus infecting everything, that has changed. It changed the world where violence should have had existed in the first place. The NVP would have promised eternal peace. But just like the outside world, it's become a world filled with violence and death. What is that virus? I don't really know the details behind its true identity, but the function is beyond my capabilities. No matter how much I try to stop it, it behaves as if it already knows what I'm attempting to do. In the end, I stole the portion of my abilities which contain my authority to build the world. It was like it was my grandmaster chess player. I desperately tried to fight back so I wouldn't have complete control, but even so a portion of the world has been modified at its convenience. She's probably talking about Monokuma Rock and the Funhouse. Based on what she's saying, it sounds like she's on the receiving end of a node-sided attack. But Alter Ego should be an impressive artificial intelligence that the Future Foundation created. I can tell you that just by communicating with her, which means the supposed virus is so smart that it surpasses this alter ego. If so, does that virus possess an artificial intelligence just like her? What the heck? An artificial intelligence waging an attack against another one? That's so freaking irritating. But how did that virus infect the New World program? The NVP exists in isolation. It's impossible it was infected through a network. I'm fairly certain someone physically uploaded it. Physically. Perhaps someone secretly brought an external memory drive containing the virus into the facility and directly uploaded it into the main computer where the NVP is installed. Based on my calculations, that's most likely what happened. It was brought to the Future Foundation's facility, but the only person who could enter that facility is someone who was a member of the Future Foundation. Why am I assuming that what I just heard is the truth? Also, wir haben ja auch im Part 0 gesehen, dass nicht Naegi, sondern Moment. Wo ist der alte? Nagito Komeada. Nagito hieß er. Mit irgendwen dahin gekommen ist. Und das scheinen anscheinend noch irgendwelche Despair-Survivor gewesen zu sein. Und der hat sich halt von Junko das noch geschnappt. Also nehme ich an, dass Makoto, Neigi, Telem, versucht hat, die irgendwie mit Hope zu befüllen. und Chiaki und Monomi, vielleicht war Monomi sogar eine Makoto oder so, die irgendwie True Hope zu zeigen. Und irgendwer hat aber was mitgebracht und hat dafür gesorgt, dass dieses Programm so ein bisschen falsch gelaufen ist. Obwohl gesagt wurde, die sollen executed werden. But it's true that the virus is powerful and that I'm completely overwhelmed by it. But I'm still able to defend the essential areas, so it has a limit too. A limit. If it took over an observer, then it has to follow the rules of an observer. Such as, in order to end the program and release everyone, I need to follow the correct procedure, and even if you're just a god in the machine, that's enough hints from you. If you're gonna say something more, suppose that you exist between life and death. The death of yourself is inevitable. If so, it can imperil too. The deflection based on the definition of existence that constitutes the relationship from there, the paradigm change results by being cut off rapidly and cause a situation where your own existence is unobservable and accelerates and crosses with the joint ownership of the world, and the situation from the content invites your death. Hey! Death. Oh boy, mir wird schlecht, wenn ich das sehe. Okay, girl. Hey, that's me. What the heck? What just happened? You're right. You are right there, aren't you? Someone is right there, right? Huh? Who are you? Are you different from the earlier one? Maybe. He can't hear my voice from this side. I'm currently talking to the world through alter ego. Ever since you guys vanished into that space, the video's feedback had been pretty distorted. But even so, we are forced to watch you this entire time. Huh? The things you guys were forced to do, we were forced to watch it. Forced to watch it? I really want to save you right away, but because of the virus interference, I couldn't. Our orders are no longer being accepted, including shutdown requests. The Neo World program is beyond our control now. In that world, that person created an independent country that doesn't accept outside interference. But Alter Ego created an opportunity for me to speak to you directly. If this means that's working, then it means that the person I need to talk to is right there, I hope. It looks like this guy can't even hear me or see me. Just who is this guy anyway? Is he our ally? Since there's no time, I'm going to say what I need to say and believe you are listening to me. But first, I should apologize to everyone. I should apologize. I know apologizing won't help, but we didn't imagine something like this would happen. We never expected such a atrocious virus was lurking inside the New World program. Well, that's entirely our fault. It's our responsibility for not realizing it until it was too late. But it's not just the virus either. I can say for sure that the program didn't have any problems in the first place. To tell you the truth, I was unsure about whatever or not to run the program on you guys. But this was the only way to save you all. I wanted to save you guys. Save us? What did he want to save us from? Why would this save us? You've already seen the password to enter the graduation exam ground, right? You know? That's not what we found. The door to the ancient ruin was supposed to open after you all finished gathering hope fragments. From there you guys were supposed to challenge that graduation exam. However, I prepared the password just in case something went wrong. Like I said earlier, I had not my doubts that this program was perfect. Even if the chance was slim, I thought the observer might end up going rogue. That's the reason I left the password in the place where the teacher role would not be able to go. I never thought Nagito, who saw it first, would erase that password. Anyway, I am also the person who set the password to that number. That number contains a secret. Someone close to me left that number to save me when I was in a dilemma. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? I'm trusting that you will to you all. I have entrusted it to your future. But that person is trying to abuse the graduation exam. I'm sure they are going to crush you with despair using the graduation anthem that's waiting for you. But I want you guys to endure it, and without giving up on hope. I want you guys to withstand it until I get there, because I have a secret to defeat them. Does that mean he has a secret plan to defeat Monokuma? In a worst case scenario where an observer has the role of a teacher goes rogue, I've prepared a hidden command to use at the graduation exam site. It's the forced shutdown sequence. Even a teacher's authority can't stop that command. It's a way to end this that you guys can choose on your own, independently of the observer, which means even if they stole the teacher's authority, they shouldn't be able to stop it. If you use that, you guys will win. However, in order to start the forced shutdown sequence, you need more than half the number of people. Wir sind nur noch 5. And in order to do that, I need to somehow get that number. Man muss mehr als die Hälfte der Leute, aber wir sind nur noch 5. Death. What was that just now? Hey Hajime, what was that weirdness just now? Nothing really, I see. Oh well, anyway, that's all the hints you're gonna get. If that no good artificial intelligence tells you any more useless stuff, I'm gonna butt it in again. Did Monokuma not notice what just happened? It's been a while since I've spoken at length, but it was important to talk to you. It was worth waiting a long time here. Hey, about that guy just now. There shouldn't be anything else for you to ask me. I see. It would be bad if Monokuma overheard us. That means Monokuma doesn't know about the conversation I had with that guy just now. You guys have a weapon. A very powerful weapon. It all depends on how you guys use that weapon. The only thing I can do is prevent the virus invasion with all my might so you guys can use that weapon. The rest is up to you all. Do your very best. Do our best. But what do we have to do our best at? The mystery is getting solved. I'm finally starting to see the truth. But what are we supposed to do when that truth is really a lie? We know we are working toward a conclusion that nobody wants to hear, but still, do we really need to work hard and do our best? Is there really a reason to do our best? If everything was a lie, then isn't everything just meaningless? It's the same for the killings too. Even though we had to experience something as painful as that, something as tragic as that, wouldn't all that be meaningless too? When the world is flipped over and becomes so irrational, what am I supposed to do? Also es ist klar, also war schon mal richtig, dass wir in einer Simulation sind. Hä?
I'm getting tired of waiting. Shall we just plunge right in? It's time for the long-awaited graduation exam. Please enter the red door located on the first floor of Hope's Peak Academy. See you soon.
A red door, huh? It's just a waste of time thinking about what this all means right now. For now I need to finish this. I need to just focus on that. Hä? Für mich würde das jetzt ultimativ zeigen, ey Bro, du hast nichts gegen mich, das ist hier alles nur eine Simulation, Pock. Wo Problem? He means this red door, right? Do I just have to go in there? If do that, will this be finished? Oh, Alter, das ist abgespaced. Oh, das nehme ich als Thumbnail, das sieht gut aus. Oh boy. This place. Looks like everyone is here.
Right.
That seems that. This is going to be the final place.
However,
This place is... Is this a trial field? But why is it a trial field? It looks like a trial ground, but the vibe is way different than the one from before. You have been here before, right? Yeah, this should be the place that the door at the ancient ruin leads to.
Hey,
It seems pretty strange that we've been in that other building up till now.
damn it.
It's like we're dreaming or something. If this is a dream, then this is too very...
Welcome!
So you finally arrived. Congratulations! You guys are the first ones to ever beat this game. After stopping by Hopespeak Academy, you have finally come back to this place. To the graduation exam site within the ancient ruins of Jabberwock Island. You can give it a fancy name like graduation exam site, but it's no different than the try ground from before. This tri-field actually inspired the one from before, so in a way this place is the original. Who cares, the graduation exam means we can finally go home, right? Is that what you guys decide? And if we have to decide, what do we have to do?
Now then.
Please take a look at the LCD touch panel built in your seats. Compared to the other trials, the rules are much simpler this time.
Yes, indeed.
There are two options, graduate and repeat, right? You just have to choose one of them and press it. All of you will cast your vote, and whichever has the majority will be considered your final decision. If you don't press either of them, it will be treated as an absence and will not be counted.
In other words,
Which means everyone who has died up to now will have their votes treated as absence.
then
The result is based on our majority vote. If graduate is chosen by majority vote, from there an event what's kinda like a graduation ceremony called the graduation program will begin. Even if we do the stupid majority vote, the result is already pretty damn obvious. Come on, let's move this along. Can we press it now, right?
no.
You can't do that yet. I mean, your resolve hasn't firmed yet, right? You will be swept away by society's harsh current. Who the hell cares? I'm gonna press it.
What's this?
My, which of your orifices are you using to spew bile? To participate in the graduation program, you need my final say as your teacher, you know? Does that mean it won't end with just a majority vote?
Right.
After the vote, I'm going to judge every single one of you to see if it's okay for you to graduate or not.
Damn it.
So even if we vote, you're saying we won't graduate unless you acknowledge it?
Oh.
I'm terribly sorry for being rude earlier.
No way.
But you don't have to worry, there's no way I won't acknowledge your graduations. This is a mere formality. I'm just doing it because that's how it has to be. Is he doing it because it's how it has to be? Doesn't mean he can exert his will over everything. He has a limit. Is this what Alter Ego was talking about?
Anyway,
Even if you don't want to do it, you guys still need to do it to solve the mystery. Afterward, you cast the majority votes. From there, we move on to the graduation program. But why do we have to go through something so dumb? Well, that is, you said you were waiting for the main cast, right? Which means you are just stalling for time then. Who's the main cast? Oh, no need to worry about it. It has nothing to do with you guys. There's no way it has nothing to do with us. We are the only ones who are involved, you know? It doesn't matter if you're involved or not, you're just a bunch of chumps in the big picture. That's why it has nothing to do with you, just perform your roles without complaining.
pissed me off.
Hold on, what's that chump comment? Not that it's important or anything, but make sure you turn off that toy.
I won't forgive you. What's this?
I did treat it like a toy. You got a problem with that? I created everything. You're actually picking a fight with me? I'm basically a god. Just how promising can you guys be? I guess this is just the nature of life. Fine then, before you die, sear my power into your memories. Oh no 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 no. Hello World, lol. Anspielung. Hello World. Oh, das hat er richtig gut gemacht. Der wäre beinahe... Oh, wäre der Uwu gewesen, das wäre so lustig gewesen. Ulkig meine ich natürlich. Okay, Cheatcode. Mega OP. Was ich mich frage, wenn ich da Repeat drücke, dann starte ich das Spiel mit den Hauptfragments again und dann darf ich vermutlich alle Hauptfragments sehr schnell sammeln und dann da reingehen. Pock. Oder? Ja, okay. Dann wird nächste Folge das Finale sein, sehr wahrscheinlich. Oder ich mache nächste Folge das Finale. Nächste Folge wird sehr, sehr lange. Freut euch drauf. Ja, die Folge war schon lang. Aber nächste Folge wird noch länger. Also, es ist klar, wir sind in einer Simulation. Die Simulation wurde vermutlich von Naegi gemacht, um die Despair-Leute zu retten. Wir waren welche, vermutlich, die auch von Despair irgendwie betroffen sind. Und irgendwer hat ein Virus mitgebracht. Will Monokuma vielleicht, dass wir sterben? Dass wir umgebracht werden? Was stand da oben rechts gerade? 11-year-old Lunch Order? Okay. Okay, muss ich nicht verstehen. Aber warum will Monokuma jetzt diese Graduation-Echse machen? Soll uns das mit Despair füllen? Ich sehe es eigentlich mal als totale Hope. Dass in der realen Welt eigentlich alles viel besser ist. Ist die Frage, was ist jetzt passiert, wenn man hier in der Simulation stirbt? Stirbt man dann noch in Real Life? Ich meine, es ist nur eine Simulation. Also ist die Frage, was passiert, wenn man denkt, dass man stirbt. Oder wenn man denkt, dass man gestorben ist. Oh boy. Weil es sind ja echt viele gestorben, ne? Was passiert mit den Leuten hier in Real Life? Okay, in diesem Sinne bedanke ich mich tatsächlich fürs Zusehen, wünsche allen noch einen wunderschönen Tag und sage tschö, bis dann und man sieht sich.